Hello and welcome to our Alumni Spotlight podcast. My name is Autumn and I work to tell the amazing stories of our students and alumni here at Penn Foster. Today I'm talking with Gabriella McDevitt, who will be graduating from our early childhood education program and earning her associate's degree. Thank you so much for joining with me, Gabriella.
Of course. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
So, Gabriella, let's jump right in. So I know you're working in the field, which is amazing, and we're going to definitely touch on that shortly. But I want to ask, what were you up to before enrolling with Penn Foster?
So before I enrolled in Penn Foster, I was in high school still, and my passion was just art and music and all that stuff. And my mom actually owned a daycare for my entire life, and she pulled me into her daycare the one day, and I immediately fell in love. And so I came to Penn Foster because I never really liked school. I always hated high school and always failed in classes and never really felt like I could strive. So that's why I enrolled in Penn Foster, because I could work at my own pace. I had no really teachers that really wouldn't help me. If I ever needed help, I could just call and someone would be there in maybe a 5-minute wait. I would have somebody that's able to help me, and I never did have my questions not answered. So that was really nice.
That's great. And yeah, I assume if you don't like a traditional learning environment, then online would work great for you. So how did you make online work for you? When did you find time to study, and what was some of your favorite parts about learning online?
So I would make a calendar and kind of just set it up with my work day. I would have my mom make a schedule for me for the daycare. So on Tuesdays, I would have a 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. day, and I'd go home, and the rest of the day would be based on homework. And then the Thursdays and Fridays, I do a split shift. So I would work 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. with a 2-hour break, and I would sit in our break room and just basically just do as much as I can. And then every night when I would go home, I would just study, and I would just make sure, made a little bit of time for it every single day just to, get it done and educate myself. And it's really nice.
That's great. And it's so nice that your mom supported you. So what was it like working in the field already and learning at the same time? Did you find that beneficial, or how were you transitioning what you were learning into real world experience?
Yeah, so I found it extremely beneficial because there were things that I thought were the correct way of doing things, or things that were so traditional that I've learned my entire life how to work with the classroom. And being in the Penn Foster's early education program, I was able to just find better ways and better solutions to run a classroom, and things that I was completely doing wrong that I didn't even know that I was doing wrong, and a better way to teach. And I feel as if ever since I started doing these courses, my classroom is so well under control. I mean, I run a classroom of 2-year-olds, so I mean it's harder to keep them under control, but the way that I've learned to handle them and situations, and even with children who have special needs or anything like that, I now have a better understanding and I'm able to work with it.
So having support from your mom, I'm sure was great, and putting time to study into your schedule, I'm sure helped. How did you stay motivated while studying online?
I stayed motivated because I basically just wanted to get my degree to kind of impress my mom. She did not get her degree until she was 40 something years old. She was always told college was not a reason to succeed or anything like that. And she was told her whole life she couldn't succeed. And my mom is one of those people who is I can succeed. I can do this. And she just brought me up with that kind of motivated attitude, so that I was able to stay motivated, because she was there right next to me telling me the whole time, you can do this, you got this. And as stressed out as I got, especially with being in school, the main classes that always got me stressed is when I have to do an essay or anything like that, because I do have a speech impediment and a little bit of dyslexia. So I kind of had a little bit of hard time struggling with that. And she was just that person who just kept me motivated, kept telling me read, slow down, take your time. And that's how I was able to get through it.
Yeah, that's great. And it's so helpful to have that support system at home. So I'm glad you were able to be motivated along with them. And then, Gabriella, so do you have any advice for students who may be currently going through the program now and want to enter the field maybe right after graduating?
Yeah, of course. So my advice to you is to just do it. Just like make time, make the effort, and just do it, because there's no reason not to do it. Penn Foster allows you to work at your own pace, and it gives you up to a year to finish a semester. Like, even if it takes you 10 years to get a 2-year degree, it doesn't matter. You still end up getting your degree in the end. So I think that everybody should just take the time and do what they love and just do school.
I love that you said that, though, because it's true. It doesn't really matter how long it takes, as long as the end goal is the same and you're still reaching your goals and really reaching your educational goals. So that's great. What did you like maybe most about your program?
The thing I liked the most about the program was that I was able to work at my own pace. Like I said earlier, like I just was always someone who just struggled in school, especially going to a bigger high school. There wasn't really that one-on-one attention. Like if I needed help, I would go to a study group with like 23 kids, and like you still never got that individual help. So with Penn Foster, I was able to just sit down with myself, like close myself out from the world, and just focus and kind of teach myself how to do everything, like with the help of instructors, which I'm sure they know that I've contacted a million times with a million questions all the time. I would call maybe twice a week just to like ask questions just to make sure, because I just want to make sure I was on the right track.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. And I'm sure the instructors don't mind calling and asking for help, but they're there to help.
Yeah, no, they definitely did not mind. They kept telling me, like, no question is stupid. Like, you're perfectly fine. Call as much as you want. Call 10 times a day. And I'm like, okay, I'm just making sure.
Okay, so Gabriella, you're working in the field. Can you tell me a little bit about where you're working, maybe how you got the job and your title there and what you're really doing?
Yeah, so I work at a family-owned daycare with me and my 2 sisters and my mom. I work with the children who are 12 months to 36 months. It is 2 separate classrooms, a 1-year-old classroom and a 2-year-old classroom. I bounce back and forth between both. I am the lead teacher of both rooms. And I'm basically just trying to mold little minds and create them to educate young children.
That's great. And that's so fantastic that you're doing that and you're in the field. How do you feel like your Penn Foster education helped you take the next step in your career?
It helped me take the next step because I felt as if I just kept learning the same traditional things over and over again, and just like basically what people have brought into the center. And then with Penn Foster, it kind of furthered and broadened my education, my ideas, my lessons, my teaching. Like everything I know now is based off of the things I learned at Penn Foster.
Yeah. So what are maybe some of those skills that you learned at Penn Foster that you apply to your work?
So one of the main skills I apply is definitely the special needs program that I worked with while I was enrolled. I never knew how to work with special needs children. I never knew how to cope with their feelings and handle like what they need. And like there's different things for everybody. So everybody needs special attention in their own way. And I definitely feel like I'm able to apply that more into my job now and work with them, because we do have autistic children in the center.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm sure those skills are definitely helpful. And like you said, every child's different and they all need different attention. So I'm glad that that Penn Foster is helping you or helped you transition what you learned into the real world. So Gabriella, what's next on your plan? What do you want to continue schooling? Do you want to continue growing at your family-owned company? What's the next step for you?
So my next step is right now to work where I am in the 1- and 2-year-old classroom. My mom did just buy a second center, so I might be moving over there to become the director. And I'll most likely go back to Penn Foster. I would like to get my child psychology degree or certificate. And I don't know, I feel as if I just want to take all the child education classes and just know everything.
That's fantastic and so exciting for you. Congratulations to your mom and your family for opening that second center. That's great.
Thank you.
Of course. So how does it feel to be a Penn Foster graduate or soon to be graduate?
Oh, it feels so good. I feel so relieved. Like it was a really long time that it took me to finish my degree. I did start in 2016 and I am now graduating in 2021. I did get a little bit held up, but I did take my time just so I didn't fail. And I'm just super relieved that I'm just about done. I'm just very excited and very happy to move forward in my career and see what comes out of it.
That's awesome, and we're so excited and happy for you, and so thankful that you got your education through Penn Foster. So, Gabriella, last question. Let's wrap this up. What are 3 words you would use to describe your Penn Foster experience?
Oh, there's too many words. I would have to say valuable, educational, and outstanding. I could not be happier with the education that I received from this school.
Gabriella, that's so great to hear. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Of course.